Welcome at Pizza and More. Normally, in all recipes, we make dough for 3 pizzas. So in normal cases, for me, I always use 500 grams of flour, which is for 3 pizzas. Some others use 1 kilogram of flour, which is then normally for 6 pizzas. But what happens if you need only 1 pizza? So the dough only for 1 pizza. And if you maybe have no pizza oven or no kitchen oven available, or you think, for only 1 pizza it's not worth to heat up the oven. Well, I'm Jürgen and I show you right now what I did when I was in such a situation. And we will make this time the dough for only 1 single pizza, and we will fry the pizza in a normal pan. This is a bit a different thing, but really only a little bit different. We will make a very quick dough, which means the dough is ready within 3 to 4 hours. Of course, you can use also each other pizza dough for frying the pizza in a pan, but I thought maybe it comes suddenly into your mind, I want to have pizza tonight, and then this recipe is perfect because it takes a very short time. I will add as a taste booster a bit of Lievito Madre. The Lievito Madre is an Italian version of the sourdough. It's a very dry version of sourdough. It's not too sour, but it brings far more taste. If you don't have Lievito Madre, then simply leave it away. I also use some malt to boost a bit the yeast activity. If you don't have malt, it doesn't matter, you can replace the malt easily with honey. Well, of course, this sounds maybe a bit strange. It is strange, but only a bit, and the taste afterwards is really great. And now we start with the dough. These are now the ingredients we need for the dough. This is 160 grams of Typo Zero flour. This flour has 12% protein. I have 100 grams of cold water, and this water leads then to a hydration of 63%. Here is the Lievito Madre, what I spoke about. Here you can use 5 to 10 grams. If you don't have a Lievito Madre, simply leave it away. This is yeast. This is the 0.6 grams of dry yeast. Yes, of course, the amount of yeast is a bit higher, but the reason is we have only 3 to 4 hours leavening time, therefore we need a bit more yeast. Then I have here 4.5 grams of fine sea salt and 2 grams of the malt. And as I said, if you don't have malt, replace it by honey. Now we start making the dough. At first we pour the water into a bowl. Then we add a bit of flour. We add the malt, and as I said, if you don't have malt, then you can also use honey. We add directly the yeast, and if you have, we add now also the Lievito Madre. And then we use a whisk and we mix all these ingredients. Add an additional portion of flour. And of course we add the salt. Then we can add the rest of the flour. And now it's time to use either your hands or, as I said, a hand mixer. And then at first we mix this. And then we continue mixing, I would say, for around, or kneading for around 10 minutes. After 10 minutes of kneading, the dough is everything but not ready kneaded. You know, I normally knead the dough until I'm able to make the window pane test, but here you can see it will not work, not any chance to make it work. So therefore I shape now a kind of ball. It's not too difficult due to the low hydration. Then I place the dough here in my box. I close the lid, and now we ask the time for assistance, and we let the dough rest for 30 minutes. Then after 30 minutes I have now the dough here on my counter, and we can already see how the gluten structure changed. The dough looks really nice, but nevertheless we knead the dough for a very short while. And then I would say, let's test, or let's make the window pane test. And you can see now it's possible to stretch the dough, and the gluten structure is really great and fantastic. Now we have to shape only one ball, because we have only one. It's quite different than with all the other times. And if we then have a nice pizza ball, we take again a container, we place the pizza ball in this container, we close the lid, and then we let it rest for our leavening time. Is it 3 hours, 3 hours? Is it 4 hours, 4 hours? Totally at room temperature. Now 3 hours later, everything is already prepared, but today no oven is preheated because we don't need a normal oven. The only thing we really need is such a pan. I have here a pan with a diameter of 28 centimeters. And of course, what we also need is the lid for the pan. And now I would say we start with our pizza. This is now the dough, and you can already see how fantastic it looks like. Well, here is a big air bubble, but this doesn't matter. And as with each other video, or as with each other dough as well, we put semolina on top. Then we take a spatula and we take the dough out. And also here we are very gentle. Of course, this big bubble can be opened. Then we lift the dough out and put the dough into semolina. Then we flip the dough several times in our semolina. Then we take the dough out, and then we press the dough like we make it with each other doughs as well, to the size of our pan. Here it might be a bit beneficial if we have a bit more dough also in the center, not only in the crust. When we then have the size we need, we take a fork and we make some holes into the dough. This prevents the dough from blowing up like an air balloon, because when we pre-bake now the dough, we have no toppings on it, which means it would definitely blow up. If we've done this, we can bring it directly into the pan. And then it's important to close the lid. And now we fry our pizza base until it's nice colored. And you already can see all these nice air bubbles, and this is the result of the lid. Now we turn the dough and you can see the color is already nice. Now we remove it from, or we take it away from the heat. Then as on each other pizza as well, the first we add is our tomato sauce. Then of course some fresh grated Parmesan cheese or Grana Padano or Pecorino, and fresh basil, mozzarella fior di latte, and of course some olive oil. Then we put it back onto the oven and we bake the pizza until it is nice colored from the bottom, and of course until the cheese is melted. And then after a short while our pizza is ready, the cheese is melted and the bottom is nicely colored. And here I want to show you now how the bottom looks like. I hope you're able to see it. Yes. Otherwise, because the pizza is that crispy from the bottom, it would break. One thing is important to mention. Of course, if you want to have additional toppings like ham, like salami, like mushrooms, this is not possible to fry them directly with the pizza because we have not enough temperature from the top. So these toppings wouldn't get ready. So therefore, remove the pizza out of the pan and then add all these additional toppings into the pan, fry them quickly and put them then afterwards onto the pizza, and then you also have different tastes. I have already cut a piece out and I try it now. And the center of this pizza is really delicious. And it's really crispy from the bottom. It's fantastic. And now I taste the crust. Here I have to say, from the top, this crust is not that crispy as it could be, but from the bottom, it's absolutely crispy, and surprisingly, the taste is absolutely fantastic, even if we had only 3 hours of leavening time. If you like my video, it would be really fantastic if you would subscribe my channel, and then we see us in the next video. Ciao.